Biafra people have decided that from tonight, the 19th day of December 2022, because of the killings, annihilation of our tribe and ethnic group going on, starting from Ehamufu, which is the issues of local government, because of the genocide committed by the Nigerian military, helping the terrorists in Ehamufu in issues of local government. From tonight, there will be no any political gathering of any type, any kind in Alibo.
people. Nigeria is about 200 and something million people, and you want only one person to control this. It's very hard. I know America, you will say America, yeah, they have this, but look at America. You see the problem going there. Upon America have accountability to their politicians. They have accountability to those that they are elected. But still, America is having difficulty. You may say UK, Scotland want to go away. UK have to, introduce plebiscite that they voted, okay, we want to stay with UK. But now the Igbos are totally different from, the North. It may be a bit similarity to the Yorubas. Dividing does not mean that we will not have a common goal. We will not have a relationship. It may be stronger. It may be that in Nigeria divide, that's when the relationship will start functioning, because everybody will respect each other. Do you know, when you have a friend and you and your friend knows each other's red line, where you should not cross, what you should not say, that's when your friend respects you. Because when he says something you don't like, you say, hey man, don't tell me this, I really don't like that. That's when your friend will say, okay, I'm sorry for saying that. Then he will respect the boundary. But when there's no boundary, your friend may tell you something, he tell you, go home and start thinking overnight, does this friendship worth it? What am I doing here? And if your friend controls you, you may not be able to speak what you want to speak. You may not be able to do what you want to do. At the end of the day, you die, or maybe you end up sick, regretful that I wish I have the opportunity to do this. So that's why when you look at Mazi Simon, you begin to think, okay, these guys have a sense. Some Nigerians will think, oh yeah, you wanted to tell, hey guys, if you cannot be productive for yourself, then you find a way. After all, Singapore has nothing. I was actually discussing with somebody from Singapore, was it yesterday? He told me that Singapore does not have water. That the water Singapore have, they buy it from Malaysia. But do you know what? Singapore is actually a very rich country. I think Singapore is among either the third or the fourth richest country in the world. Singapore does not have anything. The oil Singapore buy from other countries. They don't have anything, but they are still richest in the world. A common Singaporean have no less than $20,000 to $30,000 in their account. If you're a lady in Singapore, when you give a bath, they will give you, that time I know, maybe last time, they will give you almost $7,000 Singaporean dollar for you to start with. It doesn't matter if you're working or you're not working. Now we're talking about that Nigeria himself. In the northern side, they have a lot of things to produce. They even have gold. They found oil. In the west, they have oil. They have they have cocoa. They have a lot of things to produce, but they still wanted to stick together. Guys, when you look at the election coming up, people say, Peter Obi is an Igbo man. We don't want to vote him because he's an Igbo man. Even Peter Obi campaigning saying, you shouldn't vote me because of my tribe or my religion. What is that? If you can feel that the tribe and religion is something that you don't want, why are you sticking with tribe and religion that you don't want? How can a human being want to put himself in a place that you are not be comfortable with? If you're not comfortable with somebody being able to be your leader, why are you still together? Why can't you? You see, somebody told me that sometimes Nigerians don't know what they want. It's true, because when you see something today, they say, he's an Igbo man. He wants Biafra. For Peter Obi, I'm saying now. But, okay, let him go. Let him go and have his Biafra. You can go too, and you have your peace. So you don't need to worry about this. But they said, no, we still want him. Anyway, that's not the topic of today. But what I'm saying here is, like, Simon Ekpa came out and said, guys, listen, I am Nnamdi Kanu disciple. I want us to have this Biafra so that we can checkmate our people, so that our own refinery, so that our own oil, so that our roads, our hospital, our schools, everything we have, we can give good account of it. If we choose somebody to be in top tier, to be a governor, to be a president or prime minister, whatever we choose, or to be a councillor, we will tell him what he has to do. He has to obey the people. Not when we hold you, you told us that you have to get money from Abuja, and nobody knows when you get the money from Abuja, because the government of Nigeria does not hold anybody accountable. Simon Ekpa is a born politician. He knows this. People said Simon is so brutal, but guys, Simon is a former military. He's a military officer. He's also today a trained military, because they say if you're a military, you always remain a military. In some country, advanced country like Australia, UK, I think maybe Germany, when you go to apply for their visa, they will ask you, do you have a military experience? When you tell them that you have been in military before, they want to know more about you, because they know once you're a military, you're always a military. That's why Nigeria today, the most deadly, in fact, Nigeria is more scared of Simon Ekpa than Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a very peaceful human being. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is like a prophet, while Simon Ekpa is more freedom fighter. And it's going to give it to Nigerians the way they want it if they don't take time. What I'm saying that today, people are talking about Mazi Simon Ekpa. Mazi Simon Ekpa is a former athlete. He achieved that very well. He represented the country. He did well as an athlete. He's also a politician. In Finland, he challenged outside the country, not even in Nigeria. You know, sometimes Nigerians say Igbos are dominating us. But Simon Ekpa is running that in what they call it, in Finland. A lot of Igbos are like police, what they call it, in Canada. I saw one in Canada who is like a police commissioner or something in Canada. In America, you find a lot of Igbo there. Even in Europe, you see Yorubas in UK. Last time, this current UK Prime Minister, a young lady who has a Yoruba parents and from Yoruba background. In fact, she was born in Lagos. She contested to be a Prime Minister. But the UK whites have not said that you guys came here to dominate us. It's only in Africa, because when you bring yourself down, when you allow people to subdue you, when you don't want to do something, you always want to rely on people. You always see their rights as a threat to yourself. And you always see your rights as a scare, because you don't want to do anything. So that's how they feel about Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa, like we know, has one son and is married to a Finnish lady. Simon Ekpa by nature is a Finnish citizen and is a politician. Simon Ekpa is also a lawyer. I think he's an international lawyer. Is someone who uses his career as a military and as an international lawyer to hold people accountable. When you watch Simon Ekpa's broadcast, you know, like Nnamdi Kanu says a dimension, new dimension. The broadcast not only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu study real estate and business, while Simon Ekpa study politics and law. So there's totally different into these people, but they have common similarity. They like dogs and they like to have fun. When you know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu very well, somebody who would like to laugh and have fun. Forget that when he comes online, when we're too zealous on things, sometimes people see us wrong. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a very peaceful somebody. Very peaceful, very peaceful. Simon Ekpa also is a very peaceful guy. You see him come online, dance and do his thing. But when injustice is injustice, when you find your people being oppressed and being molested, you have to do something to rescue them. So when people say that Simon Ekpa is brutal, Simon Ekpa is this, man, you ask yourself, what was your motivation to say that? Are you happy to see that people out of plenty, they are not surviving? Are you happy to see that your great-grandmom, your mom, your sister is suffering kidney because they don't have the machine to diagnose her earlier? Are you happy because that woman that is going to give birth, she could not have the necessary treatment she needed because her husband cannot afford? In Australia, in a Western world, for you to give birth is not a problem. You can go to hospital even when you don't have a paper to give a birth. That's a human right, human welfare that you have to get here. In Nigeria, if you don't have the money, your wife cannot go to give a birth in a normal hospital. She may even die. Are you happy that some people, they cannot be diagnosed because they cannot afford money to run scan? So this is the problem that Simon Ekpa, when you see him rise, that's what he wanted to fix up in that Biafra land. And you cannot function just when things are too big. When it's so narrow, it's easy for you to function. That's why you have sometimes we call small group. We have senators, that's a small group. We have House of Assemblymen, that's a small group. Why can't you say Buhari to run all of them from there? Because we understand the power of small groups. And that small group, that's why we have a small nation. So today, as you have seen Simon Ekpa, you know that Simon Ekpa is a former military and is also a reserve military from Finland. Simon Ekpa is actually involved in sports all his life. And you can see him still go to gym, still do those things that he's involved in. Now I tell you, when you do gym, that brings you to, endurance. And once you have that military endurance, you can do undo. So that military endurance is what is carrying Simon. When you watch Simon's decision, even sit at home, he have not backed down. He hardly backed down he hardly backed down whenever he says something. Because you know what? Like Buhari, when Buhari says something, you see hardly Buhari back down. What Buhari and Jonathan, you see the difference. And that's why Simon Ekpa will be the most dangerous human that Nigeria will ever see, unless they work this out. Today, people are asking who is Simon Ekpa. Now this brief biography of Simon Ekpa will tell you more about Simon Ekpa.